Most people think an older man living alone is lonely. But what if the opposite is true? What if years of silence don't break a man? They sharpen him, because after enough time alone, something unsettling happens to the male mind. He stops chasing, stops performing, stops fearing rejection, and the way he sees women completely changes, not with hatred, not with bitterness, but with a level of clarity most men never reach. There's a moment that happens to certain men after years of living alone, usually after divorce, after heartbreak, after decades of emotional exhaustion. At first, the silence terrifies them. No texts, no arguments, no validation, just them and their own thoughts. But then something changes. The loneliness that once felt painful slowly becomes peaceful. And that's when the first shift happens. He stops falling in love with potential. Younger men often confuse attraction with compatibility. They see beauty and imagine a future, but older solitary men watch patterns instead. How does she react under stress? How does she treat people beneath her? Does her energy bring peace or chaos? Because once a man protects his peace long enough, he becomes extremely selective about who enters it. And that leads to the second shift. He no longer needs female approval to feel valuable. This changes everything. He's not trying to impress anyone anymore, not pretending to like things, not shaping his personality around attention. And strangely, that calm detachment becomes magnetic, because most people today are desperate to be chosen. But a man who's comfortable alone, he's finally free. Then comes the third shift. He starts hearing what people don't say. After years in silence, he notices tone, pauses, contradictions. A woman says, "I'm fine," but her energy says something completely different. And for the first time in his life, he listens without desperation. That's dangerous clarity. Then comes a truth most men never admit. Aging alone teaches empathy. Not weakness, not softness. Empathy. Because he understands loneliness now. He sees it hidden behind makeup, confidence, social media, and fake smiles. And instead of trying to control women, he simply understands them better. But the biggest shift, he realizes a woman was never supposed to save him. That fantasy dies. The idea that love will fix emptiness, that relationships cure loneliness, that another person completes you. No, he learns to complete himself first. And suddenly, relationships stop feeling like survival. Now they become optional.
That's why many older solitary men seem emotionally untouchable. Not because they stopped caring, but because they finally stopped needing. And once a man reaches that level of inner peace, he never looks at relationships the same way again.